On today's show, a new character has been unlocked on the Haven. Together, we'll preview the Stanley Cup Final and the impact it'll have on the hockey card market. So much to get into. Let's dive in. Hello and welcome. This is episode 43 of the Hockey Card Haven podcast. This is a weekly show diving deep into the world of hockey card collecting, flipping, and investing. Just a reminder that this podcast is free and available on Spotify in addition to YouTube for you on-the-go listeners. I'm your host, Mike Distefano, a.k.a. Al's brother, and with me today is a fellow hobbyist and a good buddy of mine, Brandon Moore, a.k.a. Al's cousin. And that was a nickname given to you by Anthony. Yeah. So it's that you're living through Anthony right now.
It's unfortunate.
The people of the pod are happy to have you here.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
So before we kind of dive into what we're going to talk about today, and it's a big day, obviously, in the hockey world because you get the Stanley Cup Final kicks off tonight. Finally, after 6 days of not being able to watch any hockey, we'll get a chance to watch some the top tier hockey tonight with the Cup Final, Oilers and Panthers. We'll obviously touch on that and discuss our thoughts on the series from a hockey perspective and then what it could mean from a hobby perspective. But I think we gotta, the people of the pod gotta get to know you a little bit more. You're gonna be on the podcast quite often moving forward, I think. So it'll be good for the people to get to know who you are and why you're important and should have a say in this podcast. So tell us a little about yourself, Brandon. How long you've been in the hobby, and like how you classify yourself.
Well, obviously my name is Brandon, aka Al's cousin. On Instagram, I go by Game Time North. I've been in the hobby since probably like 2009-ish. And then I got out around 2014-15, just lost interest, and like most people, I feel. And then I got back in during COVID again, like most people. I definitely say I'm about like an investor, but I like to collect sometimes. I do all sports, though. I don't just do hockey, so
yeah,
pretty much it.
You got a PC?
Not a hockey PC. I have like a football one, which is the Patriots Super Bowl autos. And then I do a little bit of a Joey Votto in a Blue Jays uniform.
Joey Votto in a Blue Jays uniform?
Yeah. So they made cards. Yeah. So they made cards here. I have it here. Like they made cards of him in a Blue Jays uniform.
Oh, that's from I'm assuming this year's or last.
Yeah, last year's Chrome. Yeah.
Literally never played a game as a Blue Jay.
Yeah.
He had one at bat in spring training, broke his ankle afterwards, and never played for the Jays. Yeah. He had Topps made a card with him in a Jays uniform. That's hilarious, actually.
It's pretty awesome for me, to be honest.
That is kind of a funny one to have. Well, I like the. Do you have a Grail? Like, is there a Grail card that you would love to own one day?
Well, I mean, obviously Wayne Gretzky rookie, like who wouldn't in the hockey hobby?
Yeah.
Tom Brady rookie, probably those two would be my top two.
The GOATs.
Yeah.
You want the rookies of the GOATs, the two best to ever do them, to ever lace them up, whether it's a cleat or a skate. That makes a lot of sense. I mean, going after Grail rookies is always a good time. I remember when I bought my first, Gretzky rookie, and I think I've had two or three over the course of my time. But the first one I bought, I remember being very accomplished. And I'm like, this was a Grail, right? So the first Grail for 100%. Me was a Sidney Crosby Young Guns. That was the first Grail for me. And I accomplished that goal. I bought a BGS 9 at my local card shop. And I felt very accomplished because it was something that when I broke into the hobby in 05-06 was when I was first introduced to hockey cards, and the chase for Crosby and Ovechkin was on. And I never pulled one back in the day, right? Just getting loose packs here and there. I was not buying hobby boxes or anything like that, just loose packs at the store. And never got one. Wasn't lucky enough to. I was close. I got the rookie, the Young Guns checklist with Crosby and Corey Perry, but never pulled the actual Sid the Kid rookie. And then when I had my big boy money, I was able to finally buy one when I saw it at a store for a decent price. And so that's that. I know how it feels to get that grail. So hopefully one day you'll get that, buddy. When you look at the hockey card hobby, though, as a ecosystem in its own, like, what's your opinion on the health and status of the hobby right now?
I'd say it's definitely alive and like booming for sure. Like, you go to these shows all the time and you see guys, it's always packed, right? Shows are always rammed. A lot of it is other sports guys or TCG guys, but there's still a ton of hockey guys there looking to buy, sell, whatever they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that the two of us attend shows all the time. Obviously, we're both at Expo together too, which is the pinnacle when it comes to hockey shows, right? That's the hockey mecca in the universe. And cards and money were flowing crazy at that show, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah.
It was insane how well that they were doing. And with the Stanley Cup final commencing tonight, and this is how we're going to transition into some card talk and cup final talk. It's only a couple more weeks where I think we'll see a frenzy, because obviously in the summer things sort of die down. You see the market take a dip, and you've only got a couple more weeks here to really take advantage of a hot market within the playoffs, at least, and the guys who are still alive. And there are some big time players who are still out there who matter in the hobby, and obviously the best one is Connor McDavid, right? Like, Connor McDavid is the best player of all time. Well, I mean, he's going to be up there with the GOATs of all time. He's definitely the best player on the planet currently right now, and he's vying for his first ever Stanley Cup. Like, I'm curious to get your thoughts, what you think a Stanley Cup ring would do to Connor McDavid's market.
Man, if McDavid gets a ring, I think his stuff will just like skyrocket. Like, it's already high, and for good reason. But yeah, I definitely think it'll just be out of touch for guys like you and me, and yeah, like, it'll be nuts.
The big cards will end up going. Yeah, I think so too. And we're already seeing like his market start to really tick up. Like, there's a couple of sales from yesterday. His PSA 10 Young Guns market is already approaching 4,000. So there's a sale at 3,900, and there is another sale. These are best offers, not quite bids, but on Card Ladder, I'm seeing some sales go through 3,900. $4,044 and $4,100 at auction through Probstein. So we are already seeing, people start to put the McDavid tax on the fact that he might win a cup, and people are getting prepared for it. There's another one here at $3,800 from 2 days ago. And these are for PSA 10s. Keep in mind. So, we're already starting to see that market start to tick up a little bit. Raw is going for about 1,100 now. Seeing PSA 9s in the 14-15 range. They were hovering at 12-13 throughout the rest of the playoffs. So it is interesting. What do you think is the exit strategy, though, when it comes to McDavid? Like you mentioned, you think if he wins a cup, they skyrocket. So are you holding, I guess, is my answer. Like, right now, if we play a quick buy, sell, hold when it comes to Connor McDavid, are you buying at that 4,000 price? Are you holding, thinking maybe it goes up if he wins the cup? Or would you sell at 400 and kind of take the hype and ride that hype and make your money now, as opposed to hold and wait and maybe he loses, or maybe it doesn't, explode like some think?
I'd say I'm a seller for sure. Like, I don't know if I could buy and hope that he wins the cup, especially against the Panthers. Like, they're such a good team, and yeah, I'm a seller. I'm a seller for sure.
Sell, yeah, you'd be selling at 4K. Like, so you don't think it can go up that much more? You're just not willing to take the risk.
Yeah, because I don't. Yeah, it definitely comes back down if they lose. Yeah, sell. Definitely sell.
He's selling the card. Brandon will be selling the card
if I had it, but
So does that mean you don't got a lot of faith? Like, when you look at this, Oilers, Panthers, like you don't got a lot of faith in the Oilers? I do, man. Like I think that the Oilers are I think that they're going to win the championship. Like it seems like there's no way that McDavid is not going to just say, "I'm taking this title. I'm going on a run here. I might slap you guys around for 4 or 5 games and go on to hoist Lord Stanley and ride off into the sunset and enjoy my summer." Like that's the type of performance I'm expecting from him. Like he's ready to win his cup, and I think that the Oilers get it done. And if that's the case, I do see an uptick in his market. I wouldn't say I'm a buyer in it right now because you're buying on the upswing, so you're buying it at a little bit of a higher price. I had been buying up, earlier in the cup run when it was around 3,000, 3,100, 3,200 for PSA 10. You could get, other, PSA 9s or KSAs or MNTs. You can get those at cheaper prices. But regardless, I would have been a buyer about a month ago. At this point, I'm a hold right now, I think, when it comes to him. And I believe that he will have a great final. I do think that they'll win a Stanley Cup. And that's when you can maximize and try and sell that thing. And maybe it gets up to 5K for PSA 10 Young Guns, or we see some sort of, growth from the rest of that market.
Oh, yeah, no, I totally agree with that. Like if they win for sure, like we said, the market will grow. And I personally have the Oilers in 7, so I do have faith, but it's just the Panthers are just, I don't know, maybe because I'm a Leafs fan and I've been through it, I just think the Panthers are so good. But you're right about McDavid and him just hitting the next level in the cup final. And I don't know, I hope he wins, so we'll see.
Yeah. So what are you looking forward to most when it comes to the Oilers Panthers series? Anything you're looking forward to outside of McDavid?
I mean,
just from a hockey perspective, like not even a card, just from a hockey perspective, like what excites you about this series?
What excites me is watching the Panthers possibly lose because, again, I hate the Panthers. Probably watch. I mean, Hyman's not in it anymore. I forgot about him getting hurt.
Big boy Kasperi Kapanen. Kasperi Kapanen now.
Connor Brown and Kasperi Kapanen. They've both been having a pretty good playoff, I feel. Kapanen for sure.
Speaking of, by the way, total tangent and aside, I saw a very interesting PC. There's a Leaf fan out there that's trying to get a PSA 10 of every Maple Leafs Young Guns out there. And I saw like a post asking for like Kasperi Kapanen PSA 10 or asking for like a Tobias Lindbergh PSA 10, like Lindholm PSA 10.
I forgot about that guy.
Random players like Frederick Gauthier, Christopher Gibson. I'm like, I looked up these pop reports. I'm like, dude, there's like one PSA 10 in the world.
Yeah, probably
one. And you're asking if people have it. Like
that's wild.
Like, good luck on your search, buddy.
Yeah.
Good luck, Stuart Percy, PSA 10.
Matt Fratton.
Like, yeah, I'm like, who's sending these off to PSA is my question.
I mean, I used to collect like Scrivens and Fratton and Colburn. I would grade their cards. So me,
you did?
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
I had Scrivens, Fratton, and Joe Colburn. Was my
PSAs like graded?
Yeah, I had the cup, like their gold rookies, like all of it.
Oh my goodness!
And obviously, you see how that turned out. So.
That's a summer segment right there, right? Like the old collection, right? Who are the goats and not in a good way, the literal goats that we once upon a time collected. I've got a couple of those names too who I speculated on or was a big fan of and randomly collected, like Quentin Howden. I ended up collecting a bunch of Quentin Howden cards because I ended up ripping open a really cool I think it was it was a Panini Dominion product, and I got a really sick patch auto, rookie patch auto. I was like, this is sick. It was like part of the claw. It was an awesome patch, and I was like, I'm gonna collect this guy's cards now. And I just randomly started a Quentin Howden PC, and still have that card to this day, and a bunch of his cards. No one's looking for Quentin Howden. I can assure you that. Maybe his parents, but yeah. That's a conversation that we can kind of park for until the summer, and we can get into some of those fun little topics. But yeah, when it comes to the Cup final, I'm excited, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be some really good hockey. So I can't wait, and it all starts tonight, 8:00. I do have the Oilers winning in 5. That's my official prediction. I want them to win on home ice. Like I do.
I hope you're right.
I want them to win on home ice and be able to see the Edmonton crowd experience it. And I think it's going to be awesome. The Edmonton Expo is this weekend too.
Wow.
Imagine how that's going to be, right? The Edmonton Expo, the Edmonton Oilers, like that's I'll be curious. We're gonna have to get in touch with someone next week to see who's down there, to see how like the Oiler market was performing down at Edmonton Expo. That's a very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gotta be crazy down there.
Oh, like Evan Bouchard's must be selling left, right, and center. Yeah. Like McDavid's, obviously, Leon's, Stuart Skinner's, Young Guns. Yeah. Like I'm sure it's gonna be wild down at the Edmonton Expo. All right. Part of what we wanted to do, or what I wanted to do here, and this was my way of having a Stanley Cup Finals talk, was I wanted to take a look at some of the top selling players who are taking part in the Stanley Cup Final and what their top selling cards have been. So I've got a list of 7 players, the top 7 selling players in the hockey hobby who are currently in the Stanley Cup Final and what their top card sold at. Would you like to take a guess as to the top names here that you think are the top sellers within the Stanley Cup Final?
I mean, obviously, top 2, McDavid, Draisaitl.
Correct.
Gotta say Barkov's probably in there.
Surprisingly, Barkov's not in the top 5.
Wow. Okay.
I know. He's not in the top 5 though.
Probably is Sam Reinhart in there?
No, Sammy Reinhart. Yeah, I know. It's very interesting. So let's get to the list then, because you're gonna be surprised at some of the names that pop up on this list. So I'm going to share the screen and bring in. I have top selling players in the Cup Final. There it is. All right. So we're sharing the screen now, and we got this cooking. Might be better to do it this way. Yeah. So we'll do it this way. So the top selling players in the Cup Final. So obviously at number 1, you have Connor McDavid, and his top selling card is his 2015-16 Ultimate Rookies Shield Auto Patch. 1 of 1 rookie year, sold just a few weeks ago for $417,000. $417,850 to be exact. And Card Ladder now valuing this at $444,000 because his market is up about 10 or so percent since this has happened, now that he's in the Cup Final. So that's very interesting. We're looking at possibly $450,000 card, and if he wins a cup, what could that be worth at that point? But what a beautiful, beautiful card. Like the shields, these shield autos are some of the hobby grails that people have. I'm not lucky enough to own any shields. I would love to own one at some point, but a McDavid rookie auto shield, 1 of 1, that's a grail right there for Connor McDavid.
Yeah. How do you even react pulling that card? Like, that thing's just perfect. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
it's like you would have no idea how to react to that. Like,
that's insane.
I would pass out, literally pass out. Like that would be my reaction. I'm passing out right now.
Yeah.
Connor McDavid, no surprise, comes in at number 1. Coming at number 2, Leon Draisaitl. Also probably should not surprise you. Last April, Leon Draisaitl, Young Guns High Gloss, BGS 9.5 with a 10 centering grade. The rest all 9.5s. Sold via Slab Sharks for $22,170. So about a year ago, when they were again making their way to a Cup Final. But yeah, 22 G's for Leon Draisaitl's highest selling hockey card.
Yeah, I mean, that just makes sense. Like, the high gloss itself is such a hard card to pull, and it being the top player or second best player, I guess, of the playoffs. 22K makes sense to me.
It does. It's just a lot of money. Coming at number 3, and this one might be surprising to you. Like, any guesses as to who number 3 might be?
Man, I'm just trying to think of other players. Like, is it Nuge?
Brad Marchand.
Oh, I forgot he was on the Panthers.
Brad, how would you possibly forget that he was on the Panthers?
I hate him and the Panthers.
You didn't torture your Leafs enough in that second round? Come on, guy.
I know.
All right, so Brad Marchand, he had a Black Shield 1/1 auto sell. It's not rookie year; it's 1920, but it's of the Cup. Black Shield auto sold for $5,480, and this was a few years back, kind of during the big boom of 2022. Yeah. So January 24th of 2022. But the most money anyone has ever paid, according to Card Ladder, of a Brad Marchand hockey card was $5,480 for this exact one. But Brad Marchand, it shouldn't have surprised you, and I guess you just completely forgot. But this guy's a Hall of Famer in waiting. Shouldn't be all that surprising. Again, you pull a Shield auto of a player. Any regular Shield goes for hundreds of dollars. You get yourself a surefire Hall of Famer. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me that it's something that could, fetch in the $5K range, especially when you look at, the fact that it was sold in 2022 and how crazy the market was at that point.
Yeah, that card back then for sure, 55 makes sense. I don't think it's that much now.
Probably not. Because he's also not with Boston anymore. Yeah, if he was still at Boston and they were, rocking and rolling, then possibly. Now that he's in Florida and he's, in a different uniform, he's no longer a Bruin. Maybe players aren't collecting him as much as they were, like Boston fans. Yeah, you're probably not looking at a number quite close to that at this point.
Yeah. No. But it's still a beautiful card.
Coming in at number 4. Now it's the new.
There he is.
And you'll notice a theme, right? These shields, man. These shields continue to be a theme here. So you've got Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, rookie Cup Shield, 1/1 Cup Shield, and this has a sold price of $3,847, and that's sold yesterday. Actually, yesterday was the sale date, so this was a brand new sale of $3,847. So people buying into the hype of the Edmonton Oilers, buying into the hype of Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and a new record was set for a Nuge sold hockey card per Card Ladder of $3,800.
I remember I was in the hobby back when he was like the guy, and I remember 2011-12, everybody wanted Nuge. He was the guy everyone wanted to pull, and I saw guys pull like the out of 93 Cup RPA and stuff, and it wasn't anywhere close to it is now. So it's crazy how much it's gone up since then. I'm curious who the duel is on that card, though. Who's on the back of it?
I wish I knew. Yeah. Unfortunately,
Card Letter.
It could have been Landeskog, possibly. But even in the eBay listing, it only says Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. You can see it right there. Yeah. It's kind of bizarre. But maybe it's Landeskog because they went 1-2 in the draft. No.
Yeah, which I feel like Landeskog would help it too. I know he hasn't played, but he's still.
I don't know. Possibly. I mean,
compared to other guys that could be on it.
Well, who's in the 11-12 draft? 11-12 NHL.
Just
draft.
Looked at it.
It also could have been someone from a year before. Philip Forsberg was in that draft. Could have been Philly Forsberg, possibly. Jacob Trouba was in that draft. Could have been from years before, though, too.
Yeah, realistically. True. Yeah.
But anyway, that's the highest selling Nuge card out there, and that's the 4th highest selling player in the finals. The 5th highest sold card or sold player in the finals is, who do you think this might be? Might surprise you.
Is it Hyman?
It is Zach Hyman.
Oh wow, he's still selling, eh?
There was a Zach Hyman. Well, it sold last
old.
year. Yeah, it's a June 7 sale of last year, which, again, he was having an unbelievable Cup run last year. He had 50 goals. He made it all the way to the Cup final, but he did have a Cup foil RPA number 24 sell for $3,657 back on June 7th of 2024. That's the highest Zach Hyman hockey card sale that was on Card Ladder, and it was the 5th highest in terms of individual sales here. For players, that kind of shocked me and surprised me that we got Zach Hyman rookie cards that are selling for more than the players that we haven't seen yet. Matt Tkachuk, Sam Reinhart, Sasha Barkov, Evander Kane. Like, it's kind of wild. Evan Bouchard that we've seen, now Zach Hyman markets approach the 3,600 range.
I mean, like, it being a Leaf card, I guess, kind of helped it last year. And
wow, he was an Oiler at the time.
I know, but Leaf fans are crazy, and like the market. But yeah, I can understand it, but I feel like it should have been beaten by other players by now. But who knows?
Yeah. All right, moving on. Keeping with what's going on here, the sixth highest selling card or player in the Stanley Cup Final is, we'll bring this back to this layout here. There we go. It's Matthew Tkachuk, and he had his high gloss raw sell for $2,881 back in June 10th of 2023. So that was the first run to the Stanley Cup Final for the Calgary Flames or for the Florida Panthers. And if you recall, Tkachuk was a beast on that initial run, and then kind of ran out of steam, got hurt against Vegas, and really was a shell of himself. So I'm assuming that this sale was right before that injury occurred, and his high gloss, Young Guns high gloss, 10 out of 10 too. So the bookend high gloss fetched 28, nearly 29. $100. That's the highest selling Matthew Tkachuk card via Card Ladder.
Yeah, I mean, Matthew Tkachuk, just an absolute beast. It makes sense. I'm shocked that there's no cup like RPA like the out of 19.
Yeah,
gold. Maybe it hasn't been pulled.
Yeah, there possibly, I suppose. There were like a couple of cup RPAs that sold, but they were less than 2,800. It was like 20, 26, 22, 1,800. Just, I don't know, maybe not a high level player. I couldn't tell you why it sold for so little. All right, coming up next, Sasha Barkov, Panini Gold Prism, number 10. Panini Gold Prism rookie, number 10, BGS 9.5 gem. $2,740.
I absolutely love Prism hockey. I remember when it came out, or back when I was. Oh man, Prism hockey's just. But yeah, gold too, and Barkov 9.5.
I need to confess that I absolutely adore gold cards at this point. I'm starting to really, really appreciate other types of like hits, like case hit inserts that are gold, like these liquid gold cards that have recently come out from Metal. I'm really keeping an eye on these because I love the look at them, and they do remind me of like Prism Gold. And these gold glitter bombs that you see in Allure, and these seismic gold, like I know it's I'm not the only one. Like, it's a lot of people love the golds. But it like, just look how sharp this is, man. And there's just, you can't find them. Like, I've never seen one out in the wild. And it's a great player, so love it. PSA or BGS 9.5 out of 10 Prism Gold of Sasha Barkov. So that rounds out the top players in the Stanley Cup Final and what their top selling cards are. So to run through it again, we had McDavid, we had Draisaitl, Marchand, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Zach Hyman, Matt Tkachuk, and then Sasha Barkov coming in as the top 7 sellers in the hobby that are taking part in the Stanley Cup playoffs. So hopefully it's, we'll see if what the market does for these cards moving forward as we get into the Stanley Cup Final that begins tonight. All right. Why don't we kind of put a bow on things quickly here, and maybe... All right. Due to technological difficulties, we may have to wrap things up really quickly here. So, Brandon, thank you for joining us on the show today. Really appreciated having you out here, and we'll certainly have to do it again soon, pal.
Yeah, for sure. Happy to be here. Happy to help anytime.
All right. For Brandon, I'm Mike. Check back in next Wednesday. This was a fun little episode 43 of the Hockey Card Haven podcast in the books. Bye.